Welcome back to Houston Life. This time of year, starting in October and actually ending around Valentine's Day, is known as cuffing season. So what is cuffing season? The experts say it's when singles actively look for short-term relationships so they have someone to spend the colder holiday months with.
That's what we do. So how do you know if someone is really into you? Luckily, we have a body language expert. Jan Hargrave is here with positive and negative flirting gestures to be on the lookout for. Hi, Jan.
Hi there. It's good to meet you.
Oh,
I'm so glad to be here too.
Okay, see, I need you for this because this cuffing season, we're getting so close to these cold months.
Were you familiar with that term?
Cuffing, I am, because I try to be young and hip, and that's when you want to get linked up with someone, right?
You want to get linked up.
Just that's where it comes from.
Cuffing.
Cuffing, like you're cuffed.
Are you just figuring that out, Derek? Come on. Yeah.
Come on, Derek.
But not that you're getting cuffed to them. It's just that you want to feel a closeness to them for those winter months, because that's when you want to feel cozy and sit by them. Because in the summer you have lots of parties,
I'm free,
outdoors, barbecues and stuff. Right. But in the winter time you're kind of getting to be by yourself, and then you're maybe finding someone who you feel is kind of interested in you, so you start this little relationship.
Okay.
But then there's a worrisome part to it, because suppose you're more into them than they're into you.
Oh, that would be the worst.
And they want to quit cuffing and you want to stay cuffing.
Right.
So then it can be a problem there.
Let's talk about flirting and dating in general. And I know you have some tips we'll get into, but flirting is really harmless in many situations, right? You liken it to playing peekaboo as a child. It's just a little bit of playful banter.
Because as a kid, if you did this with your mom, you were just kind of playing with, and that's what flirting is. It's kind of playful. It's never meant, well, maybe sometimes meant to be dangerous, but in an upboard situation, it's usually that someone's attracted to you. And supposedly in the first 2 to 4 seconds of you seeing someone, you kind of figure out, oh, I kind of like this person. I think they're good looking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The research even says that 85% of all courtship gestures are started by women, and women who start the flirting gesture typically get a flirting gesture returned to them. So that's why we have, really ladies kind of hold the cards in this world about flirting and dating.
Yes. What is the first thing though? What if I'm putting out vibes and I don't even know it? Like, am I looking at someone nice? Am I coy with them? What am I doing?
So it usually starts off this way. It's like a 6-step process. First of all, you're probably going to look at them. Maybe you're in a restaurant and you see someone across the room who you think looks good. You probably look at them.
Yes.
And then maybe look away. But if you find that they're really nice looking, you probably look at them again.
Oh, I'll look at them a couple
Now, that
times.
second glance is there okay to say, maybe this person is interested in me. Then after you've had that second glance, then they start what we call preening.
Preening begins.
P-R-E-E-N-I-N-G, preening. So they will slick their hair back.
I feel like we're watching the Nature Channel.
Yeah.
Preening begins.
Do you start just like...
Yeah, kind of.
Excuse me.
You do.
Right.
Because you want to look your best for that person.
Of course I do.
In case something happens between the two of you. So then the preening gestures begin. Maybe you make yourself look bigger, because then you feel more powerful. Maybe you take your chest and stick it out just a little bit further. Those are preening. Then from there, what happens is maybe the two of you decide that you start to get closer together. And let's say you do get closer together and begin to talk.
Oh, I like
that. So
that.
to see if the relationship is progressing,
lean in.
If that person starts imitating or mirroring some of your gestures, if you lean in, I lean in.
Yeah.
If you lean back, I lean back.
Ooh.
So that's the second part of it. Then the next thing is that if they allow you to enter their space, let's say you and I are sitting next to each other and I'm taking a drink, you're taking a drink, and then when I take my drink and put it down, I put it down in your space, because in front of you, that's your space, correct? If you allow me to leave that drink there, that means you may allow me to do other things too. Is that too much for you to know?
It's not too much.
I need more information.
The big takeaway from everything we've covered so far is this is nonverbal. You are reading.
You not even have said anything yet.
Your body language. Our body language expert, Jan, you are that.
And so, Derek, once that has happened, that you start entering each other's zones, that is like the okay for maybe me to touch you.
Oh.
And a harmless touch is if I touch you here, maybe touch you here, maybe kind of bump your elbow.
Yeah, a little playful.
Because we usually don't touch people unless we kind of like them.
Right.
So when they kind of have a playful, non-threatening touch of you, I think you can kind of progress a little bit further.
Right, but what if you flirt with everyone?
Do you?
Sometimes.
That's okay, because 85% of all...
asking, I want to know.
85%
I'm not serious about everyone, but I just want to,
That's good, Tessa.
Without
I want
being serious.
outgoing.
Right.
Yeah, you're outgoing.
Right.
But it will happen that that person who you're probably most interested in
I'm
will
going to want to
return.
flirt with them the
Yes,
most. I'm going to
yes.
go back
You'll
around.
go back. You'll enter their space. You'll imitate something they're doing. They push their hair back. You're going to push
I'll
your hair
push my
back.
hair back.
Once you notice that imitation phase starts, then you can probably say that it may progress to something else. And then the next thing you have to try is, will they enter my space with maybe their drink or put their car keys in front of me? If they allow you to enter their space, let's say, and then you take a sip of your drink and you
Right.
put your drink down in my space, when there's exchange of spaces, probably something will happen later.
Oh, okay. And you're finding this a lot. And this is happening more in these months, seriously.
In
Because
winter
people,
time, yes,
Okay.
because you kind of feel like you don't want to be alone. So to protect yourself from maybe falling too hard because the other person
Right,
maybe
right.
is not going to just want to see you for just those months and you want to carry it on, you have to be careful because, you know, the way that you can tell if they're going to want to continue after February, because normally October to February, it started in, I think 2011 is when they started this term called cuffing season. That would be like, let's say they start talking about, well, maybe in 6 months we could make sure and go on this trip. When they start talking
Yeah.
about future events, then maybe it will progress into something more than just cuffing. Or if they're interested in your family and your family history, and just in conversation,
Okay.
like where's your family really from? Or if they allow you to spend a lot of times with their family and their friends, then they're probably letting you know that this may turn into something pretty,
more long
yeah.
term. We
Yeah.
just saw the differences between male and female typical
Yeah.
flirting gestures. The first thing on the list is an eyebrow flash.
Yes.
What is like you're flashing
Yeah,
your
it's
eyebrows?
like,
at someone?
it's a sign of acknowledgement, Derek. Look,
Like-
you
like
know,
a-
it goes, you know, like I see
like
I
a-
say hi.
like
It's
a-
just an easy sign that says, yeah, your chin up, not your chin up, but
What's
yeah.
up, bro?
Hey,
What's
I
up,
just
bro?
got Botox. What's up?
But wait,
going
winking
like this.
winking was one of the male gestures. And I don't know. I think if someone across the way is winking at me,
The
I
wink
would
kinda
be-
creeps me
I
out.
would run away screaming.
When people do the wink,
don't wink
male
at
or
me.
female,
Why would you-
doesn't matter. This
I think
thing
it depends
is
on who
creeping
does
me
the
out.
wink. It depends on if someone is really nice looking and they're winking, I will appreciate that wink.
Some girls do it so quick. They're just like,
Oh,
they
of
just do
course,
it.
if someone's
you
nice
know?
looking and they wink, we're going to think, wow, I might want to wink back.
That's true.
Okay,
That's
one
true.
more
That's
question.
true.
We have. I know we got to take a break. Generationally, there are differences, though, right?
Correct.
And so, because dating now is different than maybe it was a while
Oh, it's
back.
way too different.
is-
Take me back. Take me back.
So what I'm getting at is,
Yeah.
okay, so you would maybe respond nicely to a wink.
You would like
Yeah.
that.
But would Gen Z or someone in their teen years?
Gen Z would
as-
call the cops.
Is this universally applicable across the board? Is my question.
Maybe Gen Z would call the cops. But years ago, I think
Need my safe space.
I think it's a lot more romantic than it is now. I think romance is still in our heart, and we still want to feel it.
It is.
So
Don't you think it's out the
Gen Z
window
wants
now,
to
though?
experience this.
No, don't say
You know,
that.
still, young girls are excited if a guy talks with them, winks, a hug, touches their hand. You know, there's still that romantic thing inside of us that we all want to experience.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's
So we
true.
may have to teach them.
Please, let's train
Well,
them.
this is why you're here, Jan
This is
Hargrave.
important.
Okay, so we are going to take a quick break, but after the break, we're going to go over the negative gestures,
Okay.
things
Yes.
you do not want to do when it comes to flirting.
Yeah, so Houston Life will be right back.
Don't stare at people. Can we talk about that too?
Wink. Jan Hargrave. So we went over positive flirting gestures that indicate someone's really interested, but now let's go over the negative ones just to make sure that we're on the lookout so we're not doing anything, I don't know, dare I say creepy?
Okay, some positive ones, just let me show you some positive and then maybe counteract. So if I'm interested in you, I'll cross my leg towards you.
Okay.
If I'm
Oh.
not interested in you, I'll probably cross my leg away from
Okay.
you.
Oh.
Because we all
Angle the Air Force One.
You need to start wearing shoes that you can dangle, Tessa.
Okay,
Those were good dangly
And
shoes, Jan.
then
Yes,
another
these are
good
great.
one. So the next time you're out and you see someone you maybe are interested in, a good way to do it, you see what I'm doing, I'm crossing here and I'm holding onto my leg.
Uh-huh.
When someone is doing this, they're non-verbally giving a message. I'd like to hold on to you, but I'll look prim and proper now and I'll hold on to myself. So that's a good female gesture. Women tend to kind of lay their hands back because the wrists are very sensuous. You know, we applied perfume here. In the
Yeah.
days of old in black and white movies, they made a woman smoke a cigarette so she could expose her wrist. So if you're in a club and you want to look available, maybe you can expose your wrist.
Costco.
I know this is exaggerated. For a man, you know, men do the straightening of the tie, the fooling of the hair. Sometimes they'll do this. They'll tuck their fingers here. It's called the cow poke stance, a big, big gesture.
But
that
those
says,
are,
"I'm
but are those
interested."
positive ones?
Those are all positive.
Okay,
so let's go with some
yes,
negative ones.
Tell me the negative.
So a negative one would maybe be, let's say a guy is holding you around your waist
Okay.
and you remove his hand from holding. Of course, that's negative.
Right.
If anytime the arms are crossed in front of you, because your arms this tightly crossed are usually saying, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not letting you penetrate the way that I feel.
I'm not absorbing.
Yes,
Right.
and sometimes people will do deceptive gestures when saying, I like you a lot. But let me show you a couple of deceptive gestures that if someone says, I'll call you back on Saturday, you can figure out if they're telling you the truth or not.
Oh, no.
Most gestures associated with lying are done with the left hand. Not that left-handed people lie more than right-handed people. It's just that we tend to, because the left hand is controlled from the right creative
see.
brain. So when I tell a lie, it's coming from here, and therefore the motor skill is done with this hand. So if someone's getting ready to tell you something that's not true, they normally will take the left hand, they'll talk, and they'll maybe swing the hand in front of them. Then they'll take it, and when they tell you their lie, they begin to rub up and down the left side of their nose. A liar usually does this. He goes up twice and then rubs underneath the nose this way. They usually go up twice and then come out this way. I'm sure you've seen someone say to you, yeah, you look real good, and you believe them. And the reason that someone being deceptive does that, because they're using this to distract from you the actual information coming out of their mouth. So this is kind of like a cover.
And this doesn't matter whether they're right or left-handed, right?
No, because our left hand is always controlled by the right
the
side
right
of our
side of the
head.
brain.
Okay.
And this goes back to when we were children, said something we should not say and said, kind of stuffed it back in. So as an adult, we're still trying to stuff it back in, but we're typically doing this here.
Brush it off.
So these are gestures, of course, dishonesty gestures, someone closed off, someone kicking the leg real quick is just saying, I'm impatient with you, someone pushing away from you, someone who, I mean, even this, I see men kind of sit this way. This is a negative gesture. Even though it stands for confidence, it is way too strong to do in front of anyone else.
Okay.
Because this is as though the person is thinking, I
don't
think I'm
care.
better than, yeah,
I don't care.
know better than you.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of a guy sitting on his easy chair at home saying, I am the king of the castle. And another one that's easy to catch, a guy takes a chair and turns it around and straddles it, puts a leg on each side. So that's negative because there's a barrier between you and him. So anytime there's a barrier between you and someone else, it's not letting you fully receive that person's message.
Jan Hargrave, we got to leave it there. We're out of time. Thank
talk
you.
all
I
day
still have
about
a
that.
million questions about
Same.
this.
Okay,
I'll call
good.
you Saturday. Maybe that's a bad sign, too.
Me too, Derek.
Great to see you, Jan. No, it is always great to see you. We love you, Jan Hargrave. Say hi to your husband, Cecil. By the way, in the meantime, if you'd like to connect with Jan and for more info on body language gestures, you can visit our website, HoustonLife.tv. Look for that scene on Houston Life section. And yes, she has written a million books, so look those up as well.
So helpful. We'll still